He indicated that he will not be serving in the 119th Congress. He had just recently won re-election. He is out of the job at AG. He withdrew from consideration. So what do you think is next for Matt Gaetz? Does he have any political future? What does that look like?
I mean, I don't think that we've heard the last from him. He's been very popular on the conservative podcast that he's been on. He may want to launch his own. There's been chatter before about him joining a conservative network like Newsmax. And there is always the possibility of him running again for another office. The House Ethics Report is looming. And one of the things that we have to keep in mind is that while the public has not seen that report, every single one of the congressional members on that committee and their key staffers have. And so I just find it, I'm assuming that other Republican members of the House are aware of what's in it. And the interesting thing to keep in mind, how litigation wary people are, and Matt Gaetz is somebody who has independent family wealth and certainly can hire a team of lawyers to badger anybody who defames him. But you look at statements like former Speaker Kevin McCarthy, who definitely has a chip on his shoulder about Gaetz. He has said flat out in a number of televised and radio interviews, directly accusing Gaetz of doing these things and saying that he's a creep and different things. And other conservative commentators like Ben Domenech have flat out called him a sex pest and made these accusations without adding the qualifiers, without saying allegedly, reportedly, is accused of, just saying it. So for people, there's so many people who are insiders on this and have seen the discussions and seen the affidavits that these women have put forward and the statements they've given under oath over and over again for years. That's something that is going to be a stumbling block for him. If he ran again, down the road, or if DeSantis appointed him to the soon-to-be open Senate seat that Marco Rubio will be vacating to become Secretary of State, his nomination is expected to sail through. Whether the House ethics investigation can reattach to a new term is a complicated question, and it wouldn't necessarily apply to him as a senator. So, but again, there's so much of these allegations that are out there. There's court records that are already public, and it is a mess that's not going to go away.
And the allegations are really disturbing. One that was reported yesterday was that a minor said that she had 2 sexual encounters with Gaetz at one event. So he's denied all the allegations. I think it's important to say that. But do you think that this is a litmus test? Do you think that this kind of normalizes other controversial picks of Trump's, where he has someone like a controversial pick, perhaps Dr. Oz or RFK Jr. or someone like that, and they can say, well, hey, at least it's not Matt Gaetz, and it almost makes them look better?
I mean, I was joking on Twitter that about the replacement of former Florida Attorney General Pam Bondi to replace Gaetz. Well, she has not been accused of sexual trafficking of teenagers, so that's great. It's an upgrade. Wry jokes aside, it is serious. And again, what we know that's already public. There was a separate civil lawsuit filed by a friend of Gaetz's, and the cell phone records and the login records for the gated community where this former member of the Florida legislature lives show who came in and out of the property by name, because people have to show IDs. And that places both him and Gaetz and these women there. And cell phone records ping at the locations that would indicate that they were there. So, we don't know for sure. There's not none of us were eyewitnesses. There is no video of this incident that allegedly happened on an air hockey table of all absurd things. But there is outside evidence that, kind of connects the dots to these things.